Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, a podcast about stuff. Because I can't remember the script.
Comedy podcast about weird news,
pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. That's right. We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers.
Saddled with crippling debt.
And
depressingly past our primes.
Some of us.
But that's what makes this podcast so much
fun.
There you go. Yeah.
Nailed it, Zach, by memory.
All right.
Word for word with no help at all.
I don't know why I could remember it when you were doing it.
I don't know either.
And when it was my turn.
Yeah, you weren't even close.
My breath smells like onions because I just had a Crown Burger.
Mine probably smells like poop because I just ate some poop out on your lawn
before
I came in.
I appreciate that. I left that there for you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, all right.
No, we had so I got work at 4:30, and then I had a meeting for my publishing company at 5:15. I was going to make dinner, but the chicken wasn't thawed, so I'm like, crap. And Megan was still working. So I just trucked it on over to Apollo Burger, actually, and brought it back and was eating as fast as I could and got, like, food stuck in my throat. It sucked, and it hurt, and I was like, give me some of your root beer, Megan. And she did. And then it like all clumped down and like went together. And I'm just like, ouch.
I have to cancel the podcast.
Right.
I chewed wrong.
Yeah, that's something you make up.
That's when you know you're getting old.
Right.
Yeah.
But nowadays, that's a distinct possibility.
I would have totally known what you were talking about.
You
but
pulled
like,
a muscle eating.
Yeah. I pull
only when you're over
sleeping.
40. Oh, I have too.
I wake up, I'm like, what the hell?
I've sprained things like stepping out of a car and stuff. I didn't even land wrong. I landed just fine and something popped anyways. Like,
I roll my ankles more now than I ever have in my life.
Yeah.
I did it this last week, and Megan gets mad at me she's like, I told you not to, like, walk?
At your age, that's risky. It's a roll of the dice.
And I'm a bigger guy, so it's harder. But yeah, twice in 1 week I rolled my ankle and it still hurts. I probably could have fallen 10 feet when I was little.
Oh yeah, kids. They take like heavy machine gun fire and walk it off. And
It's like Wolverine's
they're fine the next day.
Factor,
Yeah.
But that's what Logan's really about, that movie with Wolverine. That's not a mutant power. That's just getting old.
Yeah. He probably, in the outtakes, chews some food and does it wrong and then gets that big clump. And he's yelling to Patrick Stewart, like, get me some root beer,
Patrick!
Yeah.
Well, getting old sucks.
Yes.
So
I'm all about it.
Yeah, you like it now?
You're embracing it?
The closer I get to death, the better.
Oh, sad. Well, you find out you just start over again, like that one book I won't mention because I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't read it, even though it's 30 years old. Stephen King's fantasy novel.
Dude, spoilers.
Dark Tower. You just die, and the next thing you know, you're being born again, Zach. And your memory just overlaps for just a second, just long enough to go. Be like, son of a bitch!
I tried so hard, and I had to do it again. Can I just tap out? I'm too tired for reincarnation. But hey, at least I'd be a kid again and could take tumbles.
True.
And survive them.
Yeah, but that's like the ultimate spinning your wheels, though, right?
Yeah.
Endless reincarnation.
Yeah. So is there anything good about getting old? Is there something about being middle-aged that you enjoy that you didn't get to enjoy when you were young? Like, we talk so much about the downfalls of getting older, but what are some of the perks?
Knowing that I don't
older?
know shit about shit has opened my mind a lot, and I like that. You know, we're very narrow-minded when we're younger, but as an older person, I don't feel like I've got things figured out.
Yeah, you accept that you don't know everything. When you're 20, you think you know everything.
Right. Oh, you do.
Your parents are stupid. Your bosses are stupid.
Right. Yep.
But yeah.
I think I care less about what people think.
Yeah, there's that.
I mean, I barely get dressed anymore, you know.
You don't care how you look anymore.
Hanging out your zipper.
I used to care, I'd go to the store and be like, oh man, I gotta make sure my hair's combed. Now I don't care. Now I'll get up, I'll throw some clothes on because of public nudity laws, and then I'll go and I look crazy. But the nice thing is, with the pandemic, everybody's dressed that way,
right?
Or not dressed that way.
Yeah.
But does it feel more like a choice now? I mean, you've chosen to not give a shit, whereas there were people that just were born that way. They never gave a shit, but for some reason,
Richard
with that
Boyd.
comes an attitude. Yeah, he's never given a shit.
That was some empowerment, but
the pandemic is like enabled people like that.
Right.
They've been doing this the whole time anyways,
Right.
quarantining themselves and not giving a damn about personal appearance and hygiene. And now there's an excuse.
So me, like, basically,
No.
I'm the guy that doesn't shower, doesn't his hair. Or, no, I'm kidding.
I haven't showered in a couple days, so
Yeah?
I have to go into the office tomorrow. So yeah, I probably do smell.
No,
Actually.
you don't.
But I got to go to the office, and I'm like, the worst thing about that is I have to shower and then leave the house. I can't just roll out of bed and walk up to my desk and sit down and start working.
You can't be disheveled then.
No, because they have a dress code. So
Basically, they just require clothes of any kind.
no, they make you can't wear like shorts.
Oh.
That's really my only complaint.
Jorts is what you would wear if you had a choice. Phrased at the bottom. I know you would. Cut really high.
The funny thing is no one is there. It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
And pretty soon I will be like the only one in the office at that time. But I still have to wear like a polo and either jeans or slacks.
Well, you're walking in the door. You have to represent.
I guess. So as soon as I get in the door, I'll just take my pants off.
There's nobody there
There's
anyway.
like no one there. So anyway. But yeah.
What do you think?
What do I think? What do I
Being
like
older?
about it?
Yeah.
Well, this probably isn't something that's going to happen for another couple decades, but I love the words used to describe older people that you can't get away with younger people. Like, I can't wait to be crotchety
You kind of already are, just to tell you.
We were
cantankerous.
talking about how you're kind of a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
When it comes to like
Words like curmudgeon, crotchety, cantankerous. You can't use those words to describe anyone under 60 or even
Right.
or 50 maybe.
well,
No matter what their personality is, a 20-year-old cannot be crotchety, you know? They're just
Right.
too young for that.
well, they can in a different way.
Eh,
And then you get to
they
use
think
other
with
words
the crotch, but
like toward teenagers and be like, oh, they're out there a whooping and a snorting, tearing up the town.
Rolling their doobies.
Yeah.
yeah, being able to get away with saying whatever you want, that's something I look forward to when you're older.
Yeah.
Because you just don't care
Hitting
what other
their
people are
crack
going to do.
whores.
So yeah, that's what I look forward to with getting older.
Well, we were talking about how we really want you to download TikTok so we don't have to put it in text messages. So we just send you TikToks. And they're like, we're like, he'd never do it because he's a curmudgeon.
No, but I like the ones I watch every single one that you guys
I know,
send.
but
It's funny.
faster. Like you just flip through them if you have your own account. So, just saying. See, who out there listening thinks John should get a TikTok? Well,
I see 7 hands.
7 hands right there.
But that's like all of our listeners.
Yeah.
So
And they all think.
it's 100% of them.
100% of our listeners should think you should download TikTok. He's not going to do it.
Well, let's just put it this way. I'm more likely to do that than I would be Facebook or Instagram
Sure.
or any of that kind of stuff.
You don't need a profile pic. You don't even need your real name.
Yeah, so that's something like that.
And you can't
I'd be
find
more
people
likely to do.
on TikTok very easily.
Yeah.
Like Zach just made a new account. I couldn't find him. He had to reach out to me with knowing my name. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right. Good podcast.
We love you, John. I'm just
So what's everyone been doing?
so I had a really weird dream the other night, and I want to share it with you and everybody who listens.
It's not
Is
one
this
of the
going to
kind.
make me uncomfortable or horny?
This is another thing about
Yes.
better about getting older, right? You don't have these dreams where you wake up and have to throw your sheets in the wash before your mom finds you. Right?
Not one of those dreams.
Okay, see?
However, there was a funny story. I don't know if I
Now
told-
it just like puffs out dust. It's like,
I don't know. Like a mushroom spore.
I'm pregnant. How? We haven't had sex.
I don't know if I've ever told this story on the pod, but I take testosterone shots because I'm a bigger guy, and apparently that combined with age makes you less likely to produce testosterone, which is not good for your health. So anyway, I take testosterone shots. When I started a couple of years ago, it was a shock to my system as far as libido goes.
This is what it's like to be a man.
I forgot.
Did you ever know?
Yeah. Anyway, I had to go on a trip, an author trip with another author named James Wymore. We decided to get a hotel room.
Let's go cut down some trees with an axe.
No.
Let's build a log cabin. We're real men.
No, but I had one of those teenage dreams when I was sharing a hotel
40
room
years
with
old.
another guy.
Did you wake up with like your arm around him? And he has this like mortified look on his face.
We slept in different beds, but it had one of those like stupid bathrooms that had like a hanging door that slides. So it's not really. So in the middle of the night, if you have to get up, the other guy's going to know it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a quick sneak into the bathroom. It's like the floodlight comes on. And since there's no real door, like the glass just like shines on him. And so I get up. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. And so I'm like, I got to change. And so I try to get up, and all of a sudden, you know, the fan and the light comes on. I'm like, well, there goes that. You know. But it was I was mortified. Like,
Did you make a blood pact to like never speak of this
No.
again?
No, he just laughed. He was like, you know, those nocturnal emissions. It's awkward sometimes. Sorry about that, pal.
Yeah, it's just like being back at scout camp, you know. But maybe he listens to this podcast. I don't think I ever told him that happened. Now he's going to know.
Well.
And now he's not going to ever like.
He was like, "Oh, I know this, Jason.
You were moaning
It's the type.
a lot
It's
in
the
your
type
sleep.
of thing where we don't talk about."
Well, there was
what
no
he says.
dream associated with said emission. It just was like I woke up gross. And like, what the hell? I'm at the time 39. Come on.
You know, I'm so lazy that I would actually welcome that to happen in my 40s. Like, then I don't have to do any of the work. I just wake up.
It's like, oh yeah,
All right, that was perfect.
It's on autopilot.
Yep.
didn't even hurt my carpal tunnel. It's
Nope.
like,
Anyway, going back to my dream. I just dreamt of my old job, and
And that made you okay.
it made me mad. No, this
Oh.
has nothing to do with nocturnal emissions. But the funny part is they got really upset when I started dating my now wife, because she worked there. There was no policy about dating coworkers that I'd ever been. It's not in the book. I was never taught it. You know, they got pretty upset, and they acted real weird about it too. Because I didn't tell anybody I got divorced, and so one of my bosses is like, "Is he a bigamist?" You know, no, I don't tell you every little damn thing that's going on in my life.
I said,
Anyway,
no, I'm a good old fashioned cheater.
right.
I know you weren't.
I'm not.
just
But anyway, so in the dream, no men or women could leave together. They had to like leave separately. And they had all these weird segregation rules, like so that nobody would date. And so I remember asking one of the guys, because in the dream I came back. I had quit and come back. I said, I really hope this new policy is called Jason's Law. I said that in the dream. And if that was the case, if there's like any new policies at that job because I dated a coworker, I hope they called it Jason's Law.
That would be awesome.
I would love that. So
Well, because over the years the legend would spread about what this guy Jason did to have this law created.
Absolutely, it
he
would.
was a polygamist.
He'd be walking around with his arms around like a dozen women at once.
No
just-
woman could say no to him.
It was just an orgy in the office every time he was there.
He was just exuding sexual energy.
You'd be like
You know he takes
7 feet
testosterone.
tall with long blonde hair and like a bronze muscular chest. That your rippling
No woman could
biceps.
keep their hands off him. So anyway, that was an interesting dream. And
A woman's head exploded because he was so sexy.
so sexy. I smiled at her and she just died. Anyway,
Thus was born Jason's Law.
Jason's Law. Yeah, so that was what I dreamed the other night. And sorry for that detour into weird personal problem
No, it's good.
area.
I mean, that's what you've been doing. You've been having dreams about work. There.
But they're dry dreams.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yep.
skeptical.
I when I walked in, I heard your wife saying, "I'm putting the sheets in the washer again,
Oh,
Jason."
that's from nocturnal urination.
That's some good old fashioned bedwetting.
Yeah. And it's not an accident. I wake up and I'm like, no, and I just pee. And she,
Do you remember doing that when you were a kid?
No.
I remember when you're like 5 or something, and
Just deciding to pee yourself.
well, you wake up in the night. It's like, oh,
I don't remember doing
I remember it gets you warm.
Yeah, I don't remember doing it on purpose. Remember when you would shit yourself on purpose?
I don't remember that.
Do you remember you used to strangle hookers to death?
When you were 5 on purpose?
When you were 18? Yeah, no.
What I remember is, like, when you were like a 5 or something, you know you have to pee, and then in your dream, you would wake up and go pee.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the next morning, you wake up and realize that was just a dream. You didn't really wake up and go pee.
Oh, well, that's different.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
That's different. That's not like a conscious effort. Like,
Right.
Waking up and deciding that you're just too damn tired to get up and go to the bathroom.
Although I
just remember it would get you warm for a while.
Right.
And then it would get cold. And then
Stinky.
then you'd have to go change.
Yep. That's why I still have plastic sheets. I do remember having a dream where I started peeing and then I realized it was a dream.
Oh,
and
crap.
was still
And it's
in
too
the
late.
dream and it was too late and it's like, well, I'll just finish, I guess.
And then your ex-wife's like, Zach, that's disgusting.
I'm like, yeah, you married me.
It's like, but you're standing up, peeing from across the room.
You have to see how far away you can be.
Trying to get it into a water glass. Can I hit it from here?
10 feet, new record.
I love the value this podcast brings to our culture.
Is this white culture? Is this because I've heard white people don't have culture? Maybe this is what it is.
No, I think I think this is man culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Women culture is different
Yeah.
in some good ways and mostly good ways.
Share your observations with us, Guru John.
Yes, tell us all the bad ones.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything that's going to get me in trouble with my wife
Again.
or womankind in general. But one thing I do think is kind of odd that, well, just happened today is when I got here, I brought a garbage sack full of my wife's old clothes that she wants Jason's wife to try on. I think that's weird. I mean, it's nice of her, but these are like jammy pants and stuff. I mean, jammies are basically underwear, right? You don't wear
Right.
anything between them.
Right.
I can't imagine doing that with either of you guys. Like if you have like, hey, here's some old boxers or something. You want to try them
I
on?
used to have my junk on them all the time.
Exactly. I know your business
I used
has
to
been
pee
in
the
there.
bed in these.
My boys aren't going to touch anything that I know your boys have touched.
And I know
see
women.
women
Why not though?
Don't have.
Because like if we're really friends,
I'm not wearing your old boxers, Zach. No matter how many
I
times
just
you
meant us
ask me.
rubbing our genitals together.
You may as well. Why bother with the boxers? You may as well just straight out go and do that. But that's something I think with women culture, or maybe it's just my wife. I don't know, but
No, it's a.
I think it's weird that they can wear each other's clothes, even underwear, and they're totally okay with that.
Yeah, that.
I think
that's really
that's
funny.
weird. That's something that guys don't do.
If you were like disheveled and in the rain and somehow ended up on my lawn and like had a loincloth on, I would let you wear one of my shirts.
That's about it, though.
Well, you
I
know,
wouldn't even ask for the shirt back, though. I'd let you keep even the shirt. If you ever
It would be a
if you ever had to
donation.
wear one of my shirts for any reason, I'd let you keep the
I don't
shirt.
think I could fit
Oh.
one of
And
your
that's
shirts.
just a shirt. That's not even considering pants or anything else.
See, I've been in a situation where I've worn a friend of mine, worn his clothes, and just gave them back. I mean, we washed them. That was
Yeah.
it. So
But
I
you're not
didn't
talking
keep
about
the stuff.
underwear, though.
Underwear,
No, no,
underwear,
I'm not.
you don't give them back. You let them keep them.
Is that different than me stealing their underwear without their knowledge? Is that a
No,
different?
that's okay. That's a kink.
okay.
But yeah, if it, for any reason one of my friends showed up at my door naked needing underwear, I'd give him the underwear, but I
Sure.
would not ask for a bag. He can keep
Just
that.
let me know when you're done with those.
I can go buy another pair. They're not that expensive. It's
Call about 3 weeks later. Hey, just calling to see if I can get my boxers back.
Been waiting on
If
those.
you're still using them, that's fine. Just let me know when you're done.
It's the same thing like when your kids are potty training, when they complete crap through their underwear, what do you do with it? I throw it away and
Yeah.
buy new ones.
Oh yeah,
My wife
absolutely.
would scrub them out in the toilet, and I remember my mom doing that
Yeah.
when we were little kids too. But
I
why?
checked them whenever
You can
Whenever you shit your pants, you
can
chuck
I
your
just
underwear.
chuck 'em,
you can get an entire package of them for a couple of bucks.
Right.
Is it
True.
worth scrubbing them out in a toilet just to save a buck or so?
My mom did cloth diapers for a while.
I remember that too when my siblings were
I
little.
remember her washing them off in the toilet, and that is just horrifying.
Yeah.
And then they had to wear like that outer plastic diaper that went over the cloth diaper.
Oh.
There's some things it's just not worth it. Just to save a buck. Like if someone handed you a buck and said, "Here, I'll give you a buck if you wash out these poopy diapers," are you going to do it? No. So why would you do it for your own kids? It's just not worth it.
Truth bombs by John. I like this segment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree.
It's true. It's
I
true.
agree. Maybe this is a good time to take a break.
Just from life, or
Well, that's a permanent thing.
yeah, and we need to record a new ad. So yeah, let's do it.
yeah.
Take a break. Our new sponsor is Cloth Diapers. Well, damn it.
Brought to you by John's Boxers.
Cloth adult diapers.
Those are okay.
And we'll break on that.
We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Dysfunctional Adults.
That name couldn't be more true.
So what have you been doing, Zach? We heard about Jason's unwholesome dreams. We didn't hear what you were doing.
Oddly enough, a lot of nocturnal emissions.
That goes without saying.
Because of so I got rid of my TikTok because the algorithm it's messed up. I was like, I'd already talked about it. The people with cats or cat costumes, Asian dogs,
Asian girls
Asian
with cat
dogs
costumes.
with cat. It was all messed up. So I just deleted it. Plus, it had my full name in it, and I didn't want that. So I made a new one, and I stumbled upon a bunch of really cool stuff. Like there's therapists on there that talk about things, and I love information in short bits because of my ADHD. It allows me to just like watch these short videos, absorb the information, and move on and not get bored with it. Like seriously, if the TikTok's over 30 seconds long, I probably just swipe past it. I'm done.
I kind of do that too.
Yeah, it's just it becomes too long. So, but I find things like that. But I stumbled upon stuff that I'm interested in, like UFOs. Not necessarily conspiracy theories regarding, but theories,
Yeah.
And I stumbled upon a book called Disclosure. And it's this Dr. Stephen Greer, and he's been working on this since like 1992. Long story short, the government did obtain remnants of an alien spaceship and two alien bodies. One was alive, one was dead. In 1947
At Roswell?
At Roswell.
Okay.
So this is what it's talking about. We have shot down ETVs, extraterrestrial vehicles. We have reverse engineered their technology, and within the government,
That's where Snuggies came from.
that's where they invented
Alien technology.
Yep. All of the things you see as seen on TV, all of that shit
Came from
aliens.
alien technology from 20 years earlier.
And that's it. That's
And
all I
the
wanted to say.
Slinky.
Yeah, and the Slinky.
It's actually some kind of doomsday device.
If you play with it just
Every
right.
step is a countdown. Sucks your soul.
I love the Slinky. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, it's a crazy book. Hard to find. If you want it on Amazon, it's like $157. Like,
What about the ebook? Can you get an ebook?
yeah, you can. That's what I should have done.
You bought it for $150.
Yes.
You don't need to answer.
Yes.
No, sometimes it's nicer to actually have the physical book.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. Anyway, it has to do with aliens and this government entity. It started out governmental, but has become kind of clandestine. It kind of does its own thing now, to the point where like even the president doesn't have any control over it. He's not in the loop anymore.
It's gone like
Started
rogue.
back in Eisenhower's day, where it's a whole conspiracy thing. Anyway, this probably belongs on Area 52 rather than this podcast. But that's what I've been doing, is reading that book slowly but surely because of the ADHD.
Sounds
I'm like
cool.
50, 60
Yeah.
pages in. It is really cool.
Yeah, I'd read it.
They have over 400 different like witnesses that give testimony, and all of the testimony, it's all corroborated, but these people don't even know each other. They never worked with each other. Their only point of contact is this Dr. Greer who's written this book, and all of their testimony matches. And it seems too unlikely that all of these high level military intelligence, aeronautical people, NASA folks, it seems too unlikely that they would all talk about this stuff and it not be true, that they would have just all make all this up. It's not like Cletus
Yeah.
saying, I saw a light up in the sky. It's like these are people that they have
Or credibility.
credibility. That's the word. Thank
Because
you.
like too many UFO stories started out with, so I was drinking,
Right.
and then it goes from there.
Yeah, and this is all different. So I'll leave that there, but that's what I've been doing. It's very interesting stuff.
That's way interesting. I used to love reading those books. And I remember going to the junior high library, checking out a book on Project Blue Book. And then
Plus, you had a crush on the librarian.
well, no.
Those nocturnal emissions we talked about.
No, I just I found them super interesting, and
Yeah.
then I like to scare myself, and so I'd always scare myself with those stories, and then being a teenage boy, sometimes they had like some really graphic, naughty stories too.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just think I told more about myself than I ever was.
So,
I was 12. Okay,
library emissions. Cool.
that's not what they called it.
They called it "You're going to
They
detention."
call it indecent exposure. So, it's like we only have one shelf of books. Did you really think you could hide back there? No, anyway, so that's
Nice.
cool. That's really cool. What would you guys do if you were abducted by aliens? What's the first thing you would say to them?
Let's go to your place. I'm serious. I want to see what's going on. Let's go. Let's go do that.
And just be like, sup.
This thing you put in my butt's a little uncomfortable.
I'd be like, hey, will you make sure to tell my doctor whatever results you guys get so I can skip next year's.
Right.
Proctology exam. Just
As
drop
long
your
as you're in
pants.
there.
Okay, let's get this over with.
They're like, whoa, John, calm down.
That's not what we're doing.
picked you up because we just wanted to interview you. What's
No, it's yeah. Anyway, so.
Or there'd be one alien there that's like, zip.
It turns out John just got drunk at Pioneer Party. Anyway, well, cool. Yeah.
Did you?
No one asked me when I was.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just.
thought
I
you
was like,
said
did you?
Oh, you're talking about the women folk.
I was just bringing up random stuff.
What did you do this week, John?
Well, we took our kids to the state fair.
Oh, fun.
That place is evil, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
it is. Like, we have fun. The kids love it. And it's cheaper in Lagoon, so they can get their rides in, I mean, some of these rides are sketchy because
Scary.
they wheel them here on a cart, basically. And
They have like a 16-year-old put them together.
yeah, they're
Yep.
run by some carny that, probably didn't graduate elementary school.
Small hands smell like cabbage.
But it's cheaper than Lagoon, but it's still not cheap. It's a money pit. Like, okay, you have to pay for parking, then you have to pay to get in, then you have to pay again for rides, and then they don't have a working water fountain anywhere in the entire
What?
complex.
Because
Yeah.
of COVID?
No, probably not. Probably so you have to buy everything. You have to
I
buy.
usually do.
I mean, we brought in a cooler with a bunch of water, and we still ran out. But
Yeah.
you have to buy. So you have to buy all the drinks. You have to get refills, and I mean, you're like a couple $100 in the hole by the time
Oh,
you're done.
absolutely.
And they sell absolute crap that kids want.
They do, but they deep fry everything, which I just can't say no to. They have like deep fried Twinkies. They had deep fried Oreos. The time before when I was there, they had deep fried bacon cheeseburgers.
Oh.
It was like a normal cheeseburger, like wrapped in bacon and then deep fried. So it has this, crispy batter around it. And
That sounds amazing right
I mean,
now.
you gain weight just thinking about it. You just look at it. You can already feel the pounds like packing on before you even take a bite.
You're like, a deep fried small child? I'll take it.
Yeah, like you walk in like those barns, like when we're taking the kids to see the animals and stuff. I just want to grab one of the piglets and take it to them. Can you deep fry this?
Oh.
It's just unprocessed bacon, right?
Don't wash it first. Just put it in the oil.
Yeah, you're just taking a bite of the piglets in the barns. It's just unprocessed bacon, right?
The last thing you see is that little snout going under.
Oh. You guys are making me sad.
And hungry.
Yeah. So, admit it. It's sad, but a part of you, your stomach is growling too.
Probably.
It's like, you'd take a bite.
I don't know. Every time I go to the fair, I make friends with all the animals that I'm petting.
Yeah,
Like I found
yeah.
this giant sow that was just laying there, and I was like, and I would
You
pet
got her in
her,
the cage
and
and lay
she'd like
down.
try to get closer so that I would scratch her belly and stuff. It was adorable.
And you
Yeah.
spooned her and got kicked out.
No, I didn't get kicked out.
That's what they're for, right?
Yeah, spoon the animals, $5.
But if she rolled over on you, it would be the end.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
Oh,
I'm gonna be in so much trouble for that joke.
And they have those like circus trailers where you pay extra to go inside to see like weird animals and stuff. You
Yeah.
ever done that?
I actually felt bad. I went in once to see a 2-foot tall woman,
Yeah.
and I came out feeling gross. Like,
Yeah, 'cause
You
it's like
paid to see a
It's
human.
turning
yeah.
people into like a sideshow.
Yeah.
I thought that
Well-
things like that went out of style like
I thought that was
50
yeah.
years ago.
And
Or,
so she was some like Haitian dwarf, and she was like 2 feet tall. You don't see any pictures, and so I'm like, okay, I wonder what this is about. So my brother and I went in, and I'm like, oh hi, how are you? You know, she waved at us, and I came out and like that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I-
never doing that.
I've never
again.
done ones like that with people because I feels icky to have people on display like that.
But if they're like,
Like I'm sure they're getting paid.
I
And
don't think she. That's the thing.
People
is, I don't know that they were. I mean, this.
I mean, she'd have to. Why would she agree to that?
I was just gonna like they keep her in a cage, like
no,
she.
I'm just saying they were from a country that was not as regulated with human rights as ours.
Right, but still, she probably would have a hard time getting a full-time job. So that's probably how she makes money is
Yeah.
traveling around with these sideshows. But still, that's
It would still feel icky.
I
Now,
feel
if they were
icky
like,
for
"Hey,
that.
come see this chicken grafted onto a goat," I'm
Yeah,
in.
I remember I paid to go in one of those to see a giant alligator once. It was like a 18-foot long alligator or something. That thing was huge.
Did you spoon it?
That was frowned upon. All these like hobo arms floating in the water kind of discouraged me. It's like spoon the gator, 10 more bucks.
We dare you.
Was it really a big gator? Like a.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was an actual alligator, but it was gigantic. It was the biggest one I'd ever seen. But
What did you see this time? Any special animals?
no, we didn't. I didn't pay to go in any of those circus sideshow trailers this time. But
Wait, so they like they regular? Okay, I guess maybe I zoned out for a second. They still have them?
yeah,
The
I think
sideshow stuff?
For the animals.
for the animals. I don't know if they
Oh.
have them for the people.
Oh, okay.
I have seen that in the past, though, like within the last decade.
Wow.
Within the last 5 years since we've been
I
taking
think
the
they actually drew
kids.
some criticism for the little person, and I don't think they have it anymore.
But we're talking like maybe 5 years ago. I remember seeing
Yeah.
those trailers for that. So it's not like when we were kids or something.
Right,
It's
right.
relatively recently.
But yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. That's why watching The Greatest Showman, he's kind of a. First of all, he didn't look like Hugh Jackman.
No,
P.T.
not at
Barnum
all.
was,
Probably didn't sing as well
He's
either.
an ugly bloke. but yeah, he had his takes care of his freaks. Takes good care of them.
Yeah. I saw that movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I think it's called Freaks, and it's from like the 30s or 40s or something. It's black and white. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I saw the American Horror Story, the season, the Freak
Oh,
Show
where
one.
they-
It's kind of based on
Yeah.
that movie and the freaks from that movie.
Yeah. It's pretty awful. It's
Yeah.
an awful movie.
Well, now I'm sad.
Yeah. Like, what would make you feel better? Maybe a deep fry. Yeah, you got
A
it.
deep fried bacon
Yeah, I think
cheeseburger
so.
Yeah.
with some deep fried Twinkies on the side.
Usually, how I make myself feel better is by
Once you eat stuff like that, you forget about everything else that happened
Oh, yeah.
for you.
I will literally make like 3 or 4 packages of Kraft macaroni and cheese, put it in a big bowl. I'm depressed, right? And I'm just like
Deep
shoveling
fried.
that into my mouth. And I know I'm full, but I just keep
keep
going.
going.
Eating those feelings, man. Might as well be watching a rom-com and crying every time the leads kiss, It's like, I'm so lonely. I wonder why, as like the mac and cheese gets
stuck in
in
your
my
beard.
beard. And yeah.
You pull some out. It's like, I haven't eaten this for a few weeks.
Yeah.
You gotta
How long has
take
that been there?
you gotta take advantage of something though. There is a trend with girls liking bearded dad bod men now.
Hey.
That trend has been around for like 5 or 6 years, and I've still not gained anything from it. Like, I'm doing something else wrong. Like women look at me and they're like, "Oh, he's just one big red flag."
Oh no.
I'm serious.
Is one big red flag a lot better than lots of little red flags?
It depends on if you cut it into a whole bunch of little red flags or not.
Well, maybe they see you living with your mom and they're like, "Oh, he's got someone."
Yeah, you never know. Oh, he's being measured. It's fine. I'm not gonna do it for him.
Oh, sad.
So now I'm craving mac and cheese because I'm sad.
No, you're.
Hey, this isn't a therapy session.
That
I'm
took you
making
too long
jokes.
to
Knock
answer
it off.
that.
I was trying to think of the word. Your sugar baby is out there somewhere. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah, she is. Sugar mama. I don't need no young.
You want a sugar mama?
I want a sugar mama. Yep.
Some cougar is after you. I guess we're cougar
Absolutely.
age though. So, what would a cougar be like? 60 for
60
us?
for us, probably. Still
Yeah.
20 years older than us.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm cool with
80,
it.
A
maybe
40-year-old would be a cougar for a 20-year-old guy,
Yeah.
but for us, it'd be 60-year-old, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know,
80.
I'm up for whatever.
Ladies, email me and I'll give you his Tinder profile.
Tinder.
So we ready for show and tell?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yep.
What's on your shirt? Is that a Buddha?
Buddha. Yeah.
Nice.
I found this at the thrift store. I
Nice.
like shopping at Savers and Well, I don't like shopping at Savers. I like places like that.
Yeah,
I don't care for Savers, but I still get stuff there sometimes.
they're too bougie for you.
Yeah, yeah. Way too classy for what I'm trying to. I'm trying to be ironic, and they're just You're
You're like, is there a dumpster I can go through?
yeah, all the stuff you guys didn't want.
It's like fifth tiered.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, this one comes with food on it. Perfect. I'll take it.
Just real quick, before we tell our show and tell stories, I want to tell you a funny story. My wife and I went to Walmart, and the neighborhood that we live in is diverse. And I don't mean that like racially. I mean that like economically. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
meaning it's poor,
Yeah.
and of course we live here because we're poor,
Yeah. As are most of us, right?
Right, but she comes from like American Fork, and that's a nicer area. She comes from a nicer area.
So she's slumming it with you.
She's definitely slumming it with me. So we were at Walmart. We parked, and this lady walks in front of us, leans over a garbage can, pulls out a Carl's Jr. bag, eats what's left over, and walks off.
And you were like, hey, I was going to do that.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's sad, but I'm kind of used to it. And Megan's like, what just happened? Not that she's like out of touch or anything.
Sure.
And she's very kind and compassionate, but she's not used to that.
Yeah.
And,
You're like, if that was deep fried, I would eat it too.
well, I think actually what I said is, I'm like, oh, that looked good.
The only thing you were shocked of was that she didn't share.
Right.
It's like, we're right here. You didn't even offer us a bite.
I was drooling.
It's the hobo code.
The hobo code.
So
You find a sandwich in the park, you offer everyone else a bite.
You could do like the Lady and the Tramp thing. You take one side of it, I'll take the other.
but it was just kind of funny to see her reaction because, the hood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just used to it, man.
And then there's
Welcome to the West
there's
Side, honey.
gunshots sometimes.
Yeah.
And it still surprises her. And I'm just like, I go back to playing whatever I'm playing on my phone, and we're gonna move someday, especially when we start having kids of our own. But right now we're slumming it. So that should
Yeah.
be McDonald's like catchphrase. I'm
We're
slumming
slumming it.
Yeah. That's how I feel every time I go to McDonald's.
It's a travesty how inexpensive McDonald's is, and that's where people eat like a lot of their meals because of it, because it's so cheap.
I went over there at 11 o'clock at night the other night, and both lines were like backed up to like outside
Yeah.
the drive-thru. I'm like, what the hell?
This is McDonald's, people. Come on.
Then Arby's was empty, so I just went to Arby's.
I mean, they have the meats.
They do. Anyway, sorry, show and tell.
Do you mind if I pee first? Sorry.
No.
I know I do this every time now.
Go
but
ahead. No,
I
we're watching.
No, wait, as long as we're talking. Okay, wait. One of the things that I've noticed is in the past 2 months, my bladder is urgent like a lot lately.
Yeah.
And
Is it something you're taking?
And then, I don't
Growing
know. I don't know where-
prostate,
is it just
shrinking
getting
bladder.
older? Yeah, like you're getting older, and
turn over,
I feel like I'm gonna pee my pants a lot.
Bend over, I'll check you out. It's purely medical.
Like on the podcast? I mean, this should get ratings.
We'll do like a live.
We can get some more.
First prostate exam live on the air.
YouTube it.
All right, I'm in. But yeah, like getting older, I feel like I'm gonna pee myself all the
Might
time
need to
now.
get
That's
that
my
checked,
favorite
brother.
new thing. Yeah.
That might be a prostate thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm actually just making this up. It's an excuse to go to the doctor to get a little action because I'm lonely.
On that note,
I like movies that make me cry.
right? Me too. But like,
But as a guy, you have to hold it in.
Nah,
it's
not
got-
anymore. I
nah.
used to, but dude, I sat in the theater by myself watching Endgame. Have you seen it yet, or is this gonna be a spoiler for you?
Avengers Endgame?
Yeah,
Yeah, this movie's like 2 years old.
I know, but I don't know what you've seen. I know you've seen it,
Yeah, many
but
times.
I sat because I was going through transformation time in my life, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to a movie by myself. And I picked a kids movie. No, I'm kidding. And anyway, I sat there, and when Iron Man died, I luckily could recline in my chair so nobody could see me, and I just bawled.
in the theater.
No,
Do it like loudly, like sobbing.
Oh my god!
Tony Stark, no.
I'll cheer and stuff. I mean, and I do get misty eyed at parts, and even now, like when I watch certain TV shows, that are emotional, I'll get emotional.
Doctor
I
Who
guess
is the one
that's-
show that's made me cry like super hard.
Really?
You say, I
Doctor Who.
guess that's one thing we could say is good about getting older. You can sniffle at movies and not feel bad about it. When you're in your 20s, you're sucking that tear up there, and
Back into my
you
brain.
can't show weakness.
Right, right.
You're not gonna cry at a movie. You're not a sissy, you know.
Yep.
My brother Billy took 3 different girls to see Titanic, and he bawled in front of them each time. They were crocodile tears,
Oh yeah, he probably got some each time.
probably.
Like right there in the theater.
Could be. I don't know. He was kind of wild back then, but it's just kind of funny to me because he was all like contrived.
That's a good
See,
plan.
I was never able to do that. I couldn't show my sensitive side, even if I knew the girl would appreciate that and that she would like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was like
we're
a-
grown up and taught.
It was a blow to your masculinity to cry during a movie. So I'd suck it up and
Yep.
And just
know.
hit something.
just bite your lip if you have to, or you know.
You wouldn't believe how much drywall I've busted.
That's how a man shows his feelings.
Yes. Tony Stark.
I'm a real man.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, show and tell.
Fine.
Who's going first?
Guess so.
Zach? Alrighty.
I figure we can just do it like whoever the host is that
Day goes
that
first.
week. Yeah,
Should
they
go
can go
first.
first.
That's a good
just
idea.
to
Yeah.
make it easy on
Then we
ourselves.
don't sound unprepared.
Because we're totally prepared.
Always, we write the show. This is scripted, every single word.
I've totally read this entire article and didn't just search certain keywords and clicked on one to be ready for this
While you're on
podcast.
your pee break.
Yeah, while I'm driving, like I'm on my phone. Yeah.
You saw me doing my homework while we were setting up.
Oh yeah. Called you out on it and you lied to me.
I did
It's just
not.
like high school all over again. You do your homework in the
work.
class before
Yep.
it's due.
All right. So what I have here is 50, and I won't read them all, amazing historical facts that you never knew.
Nice.
All right. So hopefully some of these are kind of funny. Turkeys were once worshipped like gods.
As they should be.
Right, exactly.
'Cause they're
I think it should come
delicious.
back. Yeah.
Grant me the power to be strong, Turkias. God of gravy and deliciousness. Also sleep.
See, I don't even need to read the description about that. We did good there. All right, next one. That's boring, but I'm going to say it anyway. Paul Revere never actually shouted, "The British are coming." He probably said, "I'm coming." And they're like, "What?" And then they saw the British. Anyway.
He's just like, hey!
Hey, those guys, someone's coming.
Paul Revere just screamed.
You're not going to believe this, you guys.
Just screaming in a high pitched voice as he hightails it through. Screw you guys, I'm
was
getting
a
out of
coward.
here.
He wasn't warning anybody. He just run away.
His cowardly screams woke everyone up in time to see the British.
Some guy leaned out his window. The British are coming. They got attributed to Paul Revere.
I mean, that's how history's written anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Until then, he was known as like Paul the Coward.
He committed suicide, being made fun of for that. The Olympics used to award medals for art. So competitive Olympic art. That's kind of...
It's interesting.
Yeah. One time, 100 imposters claimed to be Marie Antoinette's dead son. All right.
Like claim the inheritance or something?
I have no idea. After the French Revolution, 8-year-old Louis let me figure out my Roman numerals here, the 17th was imprisoned and then never seen in public ever again. His parents were executed in 1793, and afterward he was horrifically abused, neglected, and left isolated in a prison cell in the Paris Temple.
Wow.
In 1975. Yeah, in 1975. No, in
200 years old now.
In 1795, he died of tuberculosis at 10 years old. His body was buried in secret in a mass grave. Years later, dozens of men came forward claiming to be him because a Bourbon restoration was a possibility, and a successful claimant could then potentially find himself on the throne of France.
Wow.
So people were dicks even back then.
Wow.
Humanity hasn't changed much
Not
in the
at
past
all.
hundreds of years.
Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunnies. I think
I told
up.
that one
Yep.
in the history one.
Just because it had to do with
Is that his
bunnies.
villain origin story? He's like, if the bunnies can pose a real threat, then me being almost a dwarf could conquer the world. You know, like a Catwoman got attacked by cats in a Tim Burton movie.
Oh, she's still my favorite Catwoman. Nobody will ever take her place.
I don't know. I like, what's her name in Dark Knight Rises?
Anne Hathaway.
She kind of rocks that cat suit.
Yeah, I guess.
With her Barbie-like measurements. And I don't know how she fit into that thing.
Very carefully.
Yes.
The government literally poisoned alcohol during Prohibition. So it's already poison, but you know.
Yeah. Let's just dial up the poison.
Using forks used to be seen as sacrilegious. What the forks? That's the writing, not me. Oh, by the way, so we don't get in trouble in case like anybody ever listens to this. This is written by Best Life by Alex Daniel, December 13th, 2018. Where was I? Why
were forks seen as sacrilegious?
Forks, the widely used eating utensils, were once seen as blasphemous. They were first introduced in Italy in the 11th century because, pasta, probably. Anyway, these spiked spaghetti twirling instruments were seen as an offense to God. And why, do you ask?
Because they're like fake hands, right?
Because they were artificial hands and as such would be considered sacrilegious.
Nice.
Why is that? I still don't get
have
it.
Like a hook. Instead of a
Yeah,
hand?
like it wasn't that guy's
sacrilegious?
fault.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's differently abled. Right. The Titanic's owners never said the ship was unsinkable. So somebody made that. See, history just makes it up.
No, they retconned it.
Yeah. As a joke.
Yeah.
Like,
they're like, hey, quickly send out a telegram. We never said this was unsinkable as they're going down.
In fact, we're pretty damn sure it was going to sink.
yeah.
We aimed for the iceberg.
There were more than 600 plots to kill Fidel Castro. Which, okay.
Wow, none of them have succeeded, huh?
Guess not.
That's too bad.
I don't know. I like his cigars. Of course, they're not his. Cleopatra was not Egyptian.
Yeah, she was a Greek or Italian, wasn't she?
Greek.
Yeah.
Yep. See, this is no fun when you've got a history buff over here.
I know.
Well, actually, no, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Pope Gregory IV declared a war on cats. Oh, this is something for you.
I told that one too. Though.
God damn it. All right. Mary actually had a little lamb.
Yeah, it was Jesus.
Everyone knows the nursery rhyme, but you probably didn't know that this was based on a true story. Her name was Mary Sawyer. She was an 11-year-old girl and lived in Boston, and one day was followed to school by her pet lamb. In the late 1860s, she helped raise money for an old church by selling wool from the lamb. That's really sweet.
It is. I actually thought that was always like a religious thing, but I didn't know there was a real Mary.
Apparently.
The real, like, actual lamb.
She probably claimed it and it wasn't, you know. She's like,
She
oh, that was me.
She retconned it.
Yeah. Richard Nixon was a great musician, believe it or not.
Wow.
He played 5 instruments in total: piano, saxophone, clarinet, accordion, and violin. And the American people. Lyndon B. Johnson gave interviews from the bathroom. This, for lack of a better word, unapologetic president gave interviews while using the toilet. Which, shit, I talk on the phone while I'm pooping.
Oh, yeah.
Presidential biographer Doris Kearns Goodwin describes the impetus. He just didn't want the conversation to stop. All right. Ketchup was sold in the 1830s as medicine. It still kind of is. I mean,
I'll eat ketchup packets. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It tastes better than Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, I'm eating my feelings. It's medicine. Forget ibuprofen in the 1830s when it came to popular medicine. Ketchup was all the rage. In 1834, it was sold as a cure for indigestion by an Ohio physician named John Cook. It wasn't popularized as a condiment until late 19th century.
weird.
Yeah. President Abraham Lincoln is in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. I think he was a big dude.
He was really
Yeah,
tall.
like 6'4"-ish or something, I think.
So
they
he
said.
should have been playing basketball. Oh, yeah, he was 6'4". Had only one loss among his around 300 contests.
To John Wilkes Booth.
Probably. Yeah, they say that he was shot, but it was actually a wrestling match
like
that ended
gone
horribly.
bad, yeah.
Epic battle. John Wilkes Booth's like, it ends as it began. Pulls out a lightsaber.
I am your father.
History.
July 4th isn't the real Independence Day. Ha! Take that, patriots. July 4th is not the real Independence Day, American Independence Day. It is actually July 2nd because this is when the Second Continental Congress, in Philadelphia actually voted to approve a resolution of independence. July 4th, though, is when the Congress adopted the official Declaration of Independence, and most didn't even sign that until August. So, just saying.
So the whole summer should be Independence Summer.
Right.
You have like White Boy Summer,
Fireworks
Hot Girl
all
Summer,
the time. And
just like
Independence Summer.
We get the whole summer off. America.
I think this should be a thing.
yes.
You can run on that platform.
Barbecues for everyone.
I should probably end it here, I think. Yeah. All right. Abraham Lincoln was also a licensed bartender. Besides being a wrestling champ, Lincoln was also a licensed bartender. In 1833, the 16th president opened up a bar called Berry and Lincoln with his friend William F. Berry in New Salem, Illinois. The shop was eventually closed when Berry, an alcoholic, consumed most of the shop's supplies. Fantastic.
Nice.
Abraham Lincoln was also a vampire hunter.
No, they made a movie about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have you read the book? The book's really good.
The book is a lot
The
better than
biography,
the movie.
you mean?
The biography. the movie sucks.
Yeah.
The book is so much better than the movie.
Are you guys
Definitely.
joking right now?
No, for real.
No, for
The
real.
book is good?
The book is good, yes.
For that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
The movie almost has nothing to do with the book.
The book
Oh.
came first.
It really did.
Did they include his wrestling and his alcoholic friend?
No.
No.
But that's really a good book.
The book,
Okay,
yes,
I'll
the
check it
book
out.
feels like it's an actual biography.
But it's awesome. It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
it's dark too. And yeah.
I'll check it out. No, I won't. I never do. I have ADHD. I don't read anything I say I'll check out.
Listen to it.
That's even harder.
I'll read it to you.
Aw. As we lay in bed. Like, I have to do sleepovers here. Like,
You're
okay, it's one of Zach's nights, hun, so
He's
you're on the
ground in
couch.
no, you're just on the ground in a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
In my bedroom, me and my wife are in the bed.
Nice.
Good night, Zach.
Will you read me another story?
It's good for our marriage.
Nice.
Who's next?
Am I going or?
I could go.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so you're probably familiar with Dear Abby, kind of a column in most newspapers.
Yes.
It's like an advice column. People write in their questions, and then they get life advice from a fictional person, or maybe they were really named Abby. I don't know.
Yeah, but then now we have Yahoo Answers, so Yahoo Answers is where it's at.
Right. But these are funny. So I looked up some of the weirdest Dear Abby questions. So I'm going to read a few of them. So this one is, Dear Abby, I know boys will be boys, but my boy is 73 and he's still chasing women. Any suggestions? Response, don't worry, my dog has been chasing cars for years, but if he ever caught one, he wouldn't know what to do with it.
I like it.
Dear Abby, are birth control pills deductible? I assume on taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And she replies, only if they don't work. Dear Abby, I joined the Navy to see the world. I've seen it. Now, how do I get out? Her response, this is dated, okay? Simple. Go to your superior officer and say these 2 words, I'm gay.
Yeah.
That doesn't work anymore.
No, this is from like the 90s or 80s or something.
Dear Abby, my wife sleeps in the raw, then she showers, brushes her teeth, and fixes our breakfast, still in the buff. We're newlyweds, and there are just the 2 of us, so I suppose there's really nothing wrong with it. What do you think? It's okay with me, but tell her to put on an apron when she's frying bacon. Dear Abby, my husband lost his wallet. It was mailed back, and I found it stuffed with snapshots of other women. I confronted him with his evidence, and he said, as a true Southern gentleman, he refused to muddy the names of the ladies in the pictures. What can I do with this Alabama skunk? Response, cut off his hominy grits. Yikes.
See, those
People
are the
keep
kinds of phrases you'll be able to use when you're old, John.
Hominy grits.
Dear Abby, I've been married for exactly 1 month. The other night I discovered that my wife uses mayonnaise on her hair before she goes to bed. She has the preposterous idea that it makes her hair grow faster. She claims that lots of women use it. Abby, please help me as I don't care to smell mayonnaise at night. Response, there are hair conditioners on the market that are more effective and smell better. Tell your wife that when you go to bed with a tomato, you prefer to do it without the mayonnaise.
For real, dude, I would be so hungry all the time if that were happening to me because I love the smell
Mayonnaise.
of mayo.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, I need a sandwich with some crisp lettuce, some tomato. Yeah. Oh.
That's funny. I think she was saying tomato because that's what they used to call women sometimes. So back in the day.
Tomato?
Yeah.
I have not heard that.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Yeah.
You're a hot tomato.
Yep.
Hmm.
So that was weird.
You can start using that term too when you're older.
There was another one I was going to do, but I guess I lost it. So.
And that was the funniest one.
I know. I'm sorry. I suck at this. You shouldn't let me do homework assignments anymore. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sorry, guys.
No, don't be.
No, you're all
It's
good.
fine. I mean, I'm mad, but I'm not that mad.
Well, real quick, let me just. What would you do if someone wrote that question into you? What kind of advice would you give them if they said that, they suspected their spouse of cheating on them? Dear Zach, for the following reasons, I suspect my spouse is cheating on me. What should
You'd
I
say,
do?
yeah, I know, with me.
Perfect.
Well, now we know what John would say.
I honestly have no idea because I am in no position to give anybody life advice at all, ever. I can barely handle my own life.
Yeah, that's probably true for me too. I can't give relationship advice. So I'd be like, ask them if they want the threesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Terrible advice. You're on, John.
Alrighty. Well, just when we're thinking with hearing Jason talk that people are horrible, they've got to be like the worst creatures in the world. Well, animals are pretty messed up too. So I've got some disturbing facts about animals.
Fantastic.
Twisted, weird facts that you might not know about the animal kingdom. Cute as they are, penguins are dicks. Female penguins will occasionally kidnap other penguins' chicks if they lose their own. While the kidnapping only usually lasts for anywhere between a few hours to a week before they lose interest, it's not as if the kidnapper returns the baby chick when she does lose interest. She usually abandons it to die.
Aww.
Not only that, but when groups of penguins will gather at the end of like an iceberg looking into a new body of water, some of the leaders of the flock, to test if the water is safe, they will push one of the younger, less strong penguins into the water, And only then, if it's not eaten by a seal, a shark, or an orca, will they decide that, hey, the water's safe for the rest of us. That's what they don't show you in like that movie Happy Feet.
I
Do
know.
you remember that one?
Well, yeah.
It's about the parents dealing with their weird kid who liked to dance instead of sing.
Yeah.
Well, in real life, they would just push him off the iceberg and watch him get eaten by a leopard seal. They must have cut that out from the theatrical version.
You can get it if you get the director's cut unedited.
That would be awesome. Harpy eagle mothers don't put up with freeloading. If their chicks don't successfully learn to hunt for themselves and they stay in the nest without learning to fly by the time their siblings have been out of the nest for a while, she'll just kill them to make room for more chicks that are hopefully more independent. So for 40-year-old men living at home, Zach.
Right. She lives with me.
You're lucky your mom is not a harpy eagle.
He pays the rent. So.
Yeah.
I'm still single, ladies.
This one's not gross or mean. This one I'm including just because it's badass. The African hairy frog, also called the horror frog or the Wolverine frog for reasons I'm about to explain,
I can't wait to see it too.
as a defense mechanism, deliberately breaks the bones in its own toes and pushes them through the skin in its foot pads so it has retractable claws like a cat.
like Wolverine.
Hence the word Wolverine frog is one of its names.
Oh, you said that.
That's just badass.
That is badass.
If you're deliberately breaking the bones in your feet to push them through your skin to have claws, there's respect for that.
They're looking for a new actor to play Wolverine. They should just get one of those frogs.
Kangaroos and wallaby mothers will toss their joey out of their pouch if they're being chased or threatened by a predator so they can escape instead. That's some parenting right there. Chimpanzees are bad, angry drunks. Chimpanzees in western Uganda are increasingly raiding the illegal brewing operations located in the forested river valleys and getting drunk on the country beer. Once intoxicated, they became hostile and attack and at times kill the villagers.
Oh, no.
And it gets less funny the further you read. Drunken, disorderly chimps attacking Ugandan children, especially. Ooh. They're kidnapping and eating the children when they're drunk.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Good hell.
That's why they're not good pets.
No.
No, definitely not. Orangutans, though.
I'm basically one of those.
As much as everyone loves dolphins, dolphins are jerks too.
Yeah, we've kind of...
In addition to being violent
rapists,
gang rapists, they also like to torture their food before they eat it. They've been seen playing volleyball with baby sharks before, knocking them back and forth between each other. And they also kill animals that they don't eat and aren't threatened by just for the fun of it.
Wow.
It says they target baby porpoises to kill them because, I mean, everyone hates porpoises, right?
Effing porpoises!
But they're like humans in some other ways, too. They're very sexually aggressive, and they use eels as sex toys. They have prehensile penises that they like to wrap eels around to pleasure themselves with.
Because I imagine the eel lives after that, and it's just like
hanging his head
eyes are wide.
Yeah, like what the hell just happened to me?
Dolphins also apparently are little stoners. They like to get high.
Can't blame them.
Pufferfish release pufferfish are toxic.
Okay.
If it ingested in large doses, but in small doses, the toxin just puts you in a trance-like state. So documentaries have shown dolphins gently biting into a pufferfish and passing it around between each other like a bong.
That's amazing.
And it says after gently chewing it and passing it around, they begin acting peculiar, sticking their noses out of the water, and then appearing fascinated by their own reflection.
Dude, look at my flipper. Look, dude.
That is, I love that they pass it around like a bong.
Oh, that's amazing.
Fruit fly swarms are really just massive orgies.
Ew.
It says, you know that big knot of fruit flies buzzing around your fruit and your head? Yeah, they're hungry for more than just some overripe bananas.
Oh, no.
They're swinging.
Oh.
It starts off slow but still grows. 2 by 2, the fruit flies pair up and start building arousal through what some call oral foreplay, but what we call tiny bugs going down on each other. Then comes the action, which for beings which only live for a little over a month, lasts an impressive 20 minutes.
If
you make that a
more than
percentage,
This one is in something called INSH. I forgot to say that. It's called 21 Disturbing Facts You Never Wanted to Know About Animals by Mark Hand, September 8th, 2017.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay,
I can't sleep now.
a few more. Petting birds turns them on.
Oh.
Ever notice how the pretty birdies like it when you stroke their feathers? Yeah, well, it turns out they really, really like it.
I'm never
like
doing
a
that.
lot. Ever seen birds mate? Have you noticed how it often begins with one stroking its partner along the head and back? See a similarity here? So yes, when you pet the birdie, you're getting them sexually aroused. They even start panting and everything.
I'm not ever doing that
And
again.
if they barf on you, well, that's how you know you're in.
Oh.
The offer of regurgitated food is like inviting you back to their place for a nightcap. Know what I mean?
I should try that with a
It
date.
says
Like
at
throw
that
up on
point,
her.
Yeah.
at that point, you'd best be careful. If you don't start giving them what they want, they might turn violent. Now, we're not suggesting that you put out, but consider. Nobody wants a horned-up creature with a sharp beak and pointy talons going all pecky-scratchy on them.
I mean, I'll take what I can get.
Zach's like, I'm getting a parrot.
You've probably eaten beaver anal secretions.
Oh, why?
I know this. Ugh.
It's more properly called castorium because a nice Latin name makes even the most horrific things sound okay, and you either eat it, smoke it, or you spray it on your face. Castorium is the yellowish secretion of a beaver's castor sac, which is basically the bladder they use to mark their territory. It's full of anal liquids and urine all mixed together, and it's been used for years to bring out the flavor in vanilla ice cream,
Oh, come on.
add a musky aftertaste to cigarettes, and add a fruity note to perfumes.
This is rude, John. This is really rude.
He's ruining things.
Yeah. That's like, who in their right mind was like, I don't know what that beaver's doing, but I'm going to check it out. And then when they figure out what's going on, they're just like, I mean, it looks
They just, like,
okay.
pick the
And they
beaver up
put
by
it in their
its
mouth.
tail and
Yeah.
lick it.
Yeah.
Who looks at that for the first time and says, I got to get me some of that?
What the hell is wrong with us? We as humans are gross.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping eating vanilla ice cream.
No.
No.
In fact, you're going to have me pick some up and bring it to you?
Yeah.
It's not all of it, but it says, as you can imagine, it's probably not as common as an additive as, say, MSG or xanthan gum because it's not the easiest thing to acquire. Beavers are not particularly forthcoming about giving up their anal secretions to any old ice cream makers who comes along, so it's expensive. But not so expensive that some makers of luxury items don't still use it.
Oh.
So it's not like all vanilla ice cream. But
Just expensive vanilla ice cream.
I want to
guess.
I want to find out which one has it and then which one doesn't and do a taste
Just go
test.
to Baskin Robbins and say, hey, does your ice cream have beaver anal secretions?
It's a valid question. I'm going to do
And
this.
then the kids
this
will
point,
start
that one does.
crying.
A few more. Proboscis monkeys taunt each other with rage hard-ons.
This is something dudes would do.
A male proboscis monkey is a lot like your average frat boy. Their little dongs are pretty much always hard, and they're prone to being angry little buggers. All of which is fine. The part that is troublesome is that when they get all raged up and start taking it out on someone else, they use their stiffies to express their anger. And it's
Me
not just
too.
once in a while kind of thing. These guys fly off the handle at a moment's notice. They're always shrieking and shaking branches and spreading their legs apart as wide as they can and thrusting their boners at things. Just like Friday night at the frat house.
Man shakes boner at cloud.
Couple more. Falcon breeders let birds copulate with their heads.
Ah.
Let's start this off by making sure everyone knows that falconry is awesomely cool. It really is. But it's also fraught with a 5-alarm ick factor when it comes to how a falconer breeds little baby birdies. They let the male falcons screw with their head. Literally. The The falconer has to get the male bird's motor running, so naturally the human will have to do a sexy little mating dance complete with come hither bird calls and everything. But of course, and if the bird likes what it sees and hears and starts to feel the call of the wild, it will fly onto the breeder's head and go to town, naturally. People being people,
story.
They've designed special little hats to wear during this horrible act to capture the falcon's seed and make sure not a drop of precious love juice is wasted. Then they do as nature intended and then inject this into the female's egg so that baby birdies can be born.
Why can't you just like pair them up with other birds?
I'm just imagining the dude forgets to take off his falcon semen hat and goes to like dinner on a date. She's like, "What's that? Oh, falcon semen hat. Sorry, I just forgot. How's it work?"
Did bring my work with me.
It spills out.
Here's one we can all relate to. Boredom causes ducks to become cannibals.
Yeah, relatable. You're right.
It's like, all right, time for another hypothetical. Say this time you're bored. It's been a long day on floating on the pond, waiting for someone to chuck stale bread your way. So what should you do to pass the time? If you answer, drop by a buddy's place, kill their babies, and eat them, congratulations, you may be a duck.
Your children look tasty, Jason.
Now, in case you think this is an isolated case, consider that there is an actual beak trimming machine that's made specifically to prevent a duck from being able to go all Hannibal Lecter on his pals. You don't usually make tools for things that you don't need to use a lot.
Wow.
So apparently it's a common thing for ducks to just get bored and go eat their friends' babies.
Wow.
I don't like animals anymore.
I don't either.
Just a couple more.
Dogs are great.
Mm-hmm.
But snapping turtles can be trained to be morticians.
All right.
This little nugget of horribilia comes to use from India, where the sacred Ganges River flows. The river is famous for lots of reasons, and one of the more interesting is the Hindu ritual of bringing deceased loved ones to its waters for the final resting place. The rather icky offshoot of this practice is that there is an unseemly number of corpses floating down the Ganges. Naturally,
no
the
different
solution
than the Jordan River, right?
Naturally, the solution to a problem like this is to introduce something in the water that can get rid of all the rotting bodies. And that is why $32 million was invested into turtle farms, snapping turtles specifically. Since 1990, 24,000 specially trained snapping turtles have been set free in the Ganges. How do you train a turtle? Well, that depends what you're training them to do. In this case, you want them to snap up dead bodies, so logically, you train them to have a taste for dead, rotting meat. So from the moment they hatch, these turtles are fed on a strict diet of dead fish, which conditions them to seek out the corpses in the river and leave the living bodies alone. It's so successful that when people bring a body in a bag, the turtles sometimes charge up the shore and drag the bag off for lunch. What could possibly go wrong?
That is horrifying.
Yeah. Couple more good ones.
All they need is some radiation, and then we have a horror movie. Kaiju.
Koalas are cute, right?
No.
Well, most of them also have chlamydia. It says
This is from personal experience.
These nasty little beasts are not built like us. Evolution has only given them one opening with which to pee, poop, and reproduce. It's called the cloaca. And in most koalas, it's positively riddled with chlamydia. I mean, no wonder. They pee, poop, and screw through the same orifice.
Yeah.
And they can pass it on to people through their urine.
So no more drinking koala urine for me, I guess.
It is a good excuse, though, if you live in Australia and you come home with an STD.
I fell and this koala peed in my mouth.
Evolution has dealt the koala some other questionable cards. The things can only eat one thing, eucalyptus leaves. And wouldn't you know, baby koalas can't digest the poison in eucalyptus leaves. So the only way a baby koala can survive is by eating their mother's poop. Well, not poo exactly, but a slightly less digested waste. Fecal pap. Right from her chlamydia-infected cloaca.
Nature is beautiful.
Last one.
Oh, that's gross.
Really gross.
Otters are murderous necrophiliac interspecies sex offenders.
Yeah.
The female otters are lovely creatures, adorable and sweet. Male otters should be registered as sex offenders. It says the kryptonite for these little deviants seem to be baby seals, which everyone knows are pretty adorable and sweet in their own right. But these beastly little boy otters have a thing about violating them. When a boy otter does the deed with a girl otter, the act involves holding her head under the water. Because boy otters are horrible.
Yeah, they are.
Girl otters don't usually have a problem with this, although sometimes they drown, which is a whole other topic for counseling. But baby seals aren't as good at holding their breath, so the act of otter on seal copulation often results in the seal's death. And sometimes, please don't ask why, the male otters are known to continue mounting the body of a dead seal for up to a week after its death. Otters are nasty. Why are they so cute?
They should teach all of this stuff in schools.
Right?
Well,
why is this not on the Discovery
When
Channel?
I take my kids to the aquarium and the zoo, both places, the otters are one of their favorite things to watch. 'Cause they're little acrobats in the water. I'm going to wait a few years before I tell them that they're necrophiliac little sex offenders, too.
Like serial killing animals.
That's disgusting.
Anyway.
In the same vein, emus, however you say it, they will fall in love with humans very easily. They will not have sex with another emu if they're in love with their handler.
So
and
that's where those stupid Liberty Mutual commercials, that's why they're partners.
Yeah,
Emu,
they're
emu?
partners.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole story
There's a
behind
mutual
those two.
attraction behind that.
Yep.
That's horrifying.
So, yeah, when you watch the news and think that humans are all deviants and weirdos, we are, but we're not the only ones.
Do you think they're driven by instinct, or do you think they have intellect and they're doing all this shit on purpose?
I don't. I hope it's just instinct. It's funny, though. I think it was seals also rape penguins.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll, like, mount dead penguins.
So they're pretty much the same as otters.
Yeah.
So you feel
frozen
bad.
landscape animals.
So you feel bad for the seals for what the otters are doing to them, but then they're
It's a
doing the same
cycle of
thing
violence.
to penguins.
You know, a polar
But then
bear's
the
just
penguin-
watching them, shaking his head, like all disgusted. But then
Yeah.
he goes and eats the dead bodies when it's
But
over.
then, yeah, once the seals are done with the penguins are just pushing the small penguins in the water to be eaten by sharks anyways. You can say it's a circle of life, but in a much more messed up way than what the Lion King shows you.
Well, on that note, we've run a little long. Otters suck.
I have nothing to say. This episode has left me feeling kind of, I don't know, depressed.
I'm never going back to the zoo or the aquarium.
You want to see those chlamydia-infested koalas?
No. You've ruined all the cute, cuddly animals for me. But I am going to get myself an eel tonight.
Hurry, ladies, pick this guy up before he has to resort to eels. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.